Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host, joined by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Labouche, and this is the Mad Boxing Show. Or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you as always for joining us. We're doing a little bit of a different show because we were kind of we're pretty busy this last weekend. Had a lot of things going on, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get it done on Sunday the way we normally do, but we managed to find time today on this Thursday Halloween night. So for everybody watching, happy Halloween, and I hope you have a nice and safe one. Make sure to, all those kids out there, make sure to eat your candy when you get home. Have your parents check your candy, right? All that good stuff, all the safety protocols that we didn't have when we were kids. Actually, we all heard the stories, right, of the candies and whatnot. But definitely have yourself a very safe Halloween. Don't go into anybody's houses that they don't want you to at, and and they don't say like, "Oh, I got candy inside, kids, come on in." Like, no, don't do that shit. But it is Halloween Thursday. For those of you who don't know, I love Halloween and I love horror. Although I do work tomorrow, so I'm not going to do anything tonight. I did go out on Saturday and I dressed up as Devo. So me and my sister and my brother-in-law were Devo for a good party on Saturday night. Andrew just let me know that he's not much of the dressing up type. He just let me know before we got on the show. But that being said, Andrew, what's happening, dude? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Miguel? This weekend or last weekend,
Mm.
drove the kids up to Sparks, Nevada.
Oh,
Went
all
to
right.
the went to the pumpkin patch up there.
Cool.
We just got out of the house. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All
And
right.
and we took off. We got up there around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. A very nice pumpkin patch. Liked it a lot. So it was cool. Then we went and stayed over at Caesar, not Caesar's. We stayed at Circus, just for the night, and then in the morning put in my NFL bets and went home. That
All
was
right.
it. Yeah, that was it. But just a drive. Just took a drive. Kids got to play video games. Junior Giovanni wanted a new sword. His sword broke, the blue one that we got last time.
Hmm.
It broke, so I got another one. So he's got
Oh,
a new sword.
all right. How was that
There,
pumpkin patch? Do you guys get like apple cider and apple cider donuts and shit? Is that like those kind of because they have like these orchards sometimes where it's like they got a whole bunch of stuff, apple cider and stuff.
they had a bunch of stands, food
Oh,
stands, those carts or whatever they call.
yeah,
They
yeah,
had a
yeah.
bunch of those come out. Um, They rode horses. Then they did the zip line. And then they did
Oh,
a walk, the maze or whatever.
oh yeah, the
But
corn
not,
maze. Yeah.
yeah, nothing too big. Nothing too big.
How
But it
far is the
was
drive?
3 hours. It's
Okay.
Reno. Yeah, I'm basically right next to Reno.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm one exit away from, or two exits away from. It's like 14 minutes, bro, from
Mm,
downtown Reno. Sparks is Sparks is crazy live though. There's so many people out. I couldn't believe it, dude.
really?
For it being a little city
Hmm.
in the middle of nowhere, that place is sure is cracking on a fucking Saturday afternoon. So that was
Yeah,
cool.
the right party.
But oh, did we watch the Catterall? We watched the Catterall fight
Oh, over there.
out there.
All right.
Yeah. Right? That was on Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we
It was.
yeah, we
It was
watched it.
early coming from the UK, so like it aired the main event at least aired afternoonish over here on our side.
Yeah. Yeah. So started out good. I was texting you, wasn't I?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it started out good. And then I don't know what happened.
It went downhill. Let's
Yeah, I
let's
don't
get
know
into that because that's
I
going to
don't
be
know
the
what
opening
happened.
story because that's pretty much the main fight that took place this weekend with Regis Prograis and Catterall. Wow, that and to I guess piggyback off what you said. Well, for starters, there goes your parlay, right? That we wanted shit, and we were doing so well. We had fucking who was it? Fury coming up later on, right? Um,
Fury and the Katie Taylor and Serrano. I had
yes,
Serrano.
November
So I still
15th.
had two. I mean, three underdogs. I am trying three underdogs in a row.
But they were live underdogs, at least
Definitely live. That's why I had
Regis
to take
including.
them.
He was doing well. Like I noticed that for some reason, maybe it was just me, but his reflexes seemed quicker. Like he didn't seem as slow as when he fought Devin Haney. And I was like, oh shit, did he just like maybe needed a little bit of time off and he's kind of like refreshed and everything? And I mean, even scored a knockdown right on Catterall, although it wasn't really one that where he hurt Catterall. It was really more so just an off balance sort of thing. But a knockdown is a knockdown, and he landed. And then it kind of went downhill from there. Like if I recall correctly, I think he got dropped, then he dropped Catterall, and then at that point Catterall took over. But it wasn't. It wasn't a blowout until like the second half of the fight, and you can tell that his legs were just gone, man. They were just like his legs were just shot, I suppose. He wasn't able to move the same way. He was fucking falling all over. Got kind of sloppy. They fell over, I think, a couple of times, and it looked as though Regis just didn't have his legs anymore. And that sucks because the dude is still relatively young. It's just unfortunately that his legs are just gone, and when they're gone, really. And he ended up losing, right? And it was I want to say it was a unanimous decision. I don't remember the specific scores, but the right guy won. Even with the knockdowns, with a knockdown. And afterwards, he looked disappointed, right? But he showed a lot of respect to Catterall, and the same way Catterall showed a lot of respect to him. And he made it pretty clear that he's like, I'm just gonna step aside. I want to say he kind of snuck in real fast that he was gonna do like bare knuckle or something, and he's like, I'll let these young cats do this, right? So he kind of, it was clear that he stepped away. Something happened over the course of a few days because then he went on social media talking about like, I'll be champion again, I'll be back. And it's like, but what the hell happened? You just said you were going to be, you were calling it quits, and everybody was okay with that. It's like, all right, man, you're gonna, you could potentially get hurt if you keep going when your legs are gone. And then Devin Haney decided to reply to his tweet or Instagram post or whatever it was, saying like, bro, you should retire. So it's like, stay retired, don't come back. I don't know how much money there is to be made in bare knuckle boxing, but according to him, even according to Eddie Hearn, he made a substantial amount of money in these last couple of fights, in particular with that fight with Devin Haney. So financially speaking, he's pretty set. Of course, everybody's favorite number is more. So anybody who has money is going to want more money. It's just how it is. So understandably, he wants to continue with his boxing career. It didn't look very good. At first it started okay, but Catterall was doing his thing, and props to Catterall because there was a couple of moments where I was like, oh shit, I thought Regis was going to catch him, and he just turned that shit right around. And for a guy who doesn't have a lot of knockout power in Catterall, he dropped fucking Regis a couple of times, and I was like, damn, this dude has more pop than I think we're giving him credit for, really. But unfortunately, Regis didn't come out with a victory, and there goes your parlay. What did you see, Andrew?
Um, Basically what you said. It was a good start for Regis. I thought he was clearly had the advantage going into about the seventh round. Whenever he gets dropped, and then he never rebounds off of the knockdown, in my opinion.
Mm.
Now, will I go out and bet on Catterall? No. Betting against him the next time too.
Yeah.
Maybe no, I'm serious. It wasn't that great of a fight, first
Mm.
off. So I'm not over here gonna say this guy's about to take over the junior welterweights or anything like that. I would still bet against him. Telefimo Lopez, Devin Haney, I would still bet against him. And so yeah, I was impressed with his with the boxing. He was able to outbox Regis, right? Dominated at the end, but this is now Regis' second time kind of being dominated like this because Devin Haney did it to him too. Um, sometimes it sucks, man. That's what sucks about politics and boxing is when you finally get your shot, you're past your prime, right?
Mm.
You're on the downside now, and this is what we're gonna remember him by. When really that's not who Regis was 5 years ago, right? The dude was used to be the ghost, the dark horse of the junior welterweight division, and now he's a stepping stone 2 fights later. Um, I think he hit it right on the head about why he's not going to the what is slap boxing? What the fuck? Oh, bare
Bare
knuckle.
knuckle. Yeah.
So fucking stupid. Like, bro, he just made championship money in boxing.
Mm.
And now you're telling me you're gonna go 2 checks later, you're gonna walk over there and take a $30,000 payday. I can't see that sport really paying any more than a few $1,000s, Miguel. I really
Mm.
can't. You got to make money to to give it out, right? And
Sure.
I don't see the bare knuckle event making any kind of noise on my feed. It never does. Have you seen any of that shit go viral that's not pushed by the bare knuckle people themselves? But I'm saying as far as like the kids taking it and being
No.
like, oh yeah, I haven't.
I,
So
I did see one go viral when that chick showed her tit. I don't know if you
there you
remember that.
go.
Like she
There,
won,
well,
right? And then she's like, "Woo!" And then she like shows her titties. That's probably the only thing that I remember going bare knuckle. I don't know how much money they made off of that, but probably not enough to lure somebody like Regis over to
like
theirs.
Regis, yeah, who made what, maybe close to $1 million probably in his last fight. Like, are you like, dude? And we're not even talking training cost, the cost of your corner. There's so much that goes into this. You're fighting for a few thousand. There's no way he goes to that level. I see him walking away. If he can't get another fight in boxing, if he's hit that place in our sport, then you just go away. But it would be so sad if Regis was now doing bare knuckles, because dude, that bare knuckle is no joke. We've all seen it, right? I've seen the highlights. It's nothing that I'm into. I don't like. It's kind of sad what those guys do to their faces, man. I mean, even how you see Angulo the other day, Alfredo Angulo was on there.
Yeah.
He
Hmm.
looked fucked up, bro. And
Hmm.
like he almost lost that fight. I was like, dude, you're a professional boxer. And finally he got the guy, but that was after taking an ass whooping himself.
Hmm.
Just totally changes the way you look. One punch cut, one punch broken nose. Like it's it's a
Yeah, and it's short lived because like your hands can only take so much. They
yeah.
do like put gauze and of course tape around. They wrap the wrist and the thumb, but really that's it. Everything else, this stuff is exposed. So you catch an elbow. Somebody blocks something, and it's like your night is over quick. And for our if boxers take fucking forever and constantly have hand issues with all of the tape and gauze and wraps, and on top of that a glove that they swing for fucking for the swing for the fences. You can't do that without a glove really, and oftentimes that will fuck it up as soon as your thumb goes. Well, you're done, and not just in that match. It probably is not going to heal the same ever again.
Right. Right. So I don't see him going there. I'm not really interested in seeing him with any of the other guys. It's just I think we're at that moment with Regis. You know what I mean? Um, he had his time in the sun. He made good money. Hopefully, he invested it well and can fucking go and do something else, not bare knuckles, but something else.
Yeah.
Man, that bare knuckle stuff, the slap. I don't know what they call it, the slap off or whatever that they
Power
do.
slap. I think it's called power
Power
slap.
slap.
I think.
You got to have like nothing left on the resume, Miguel, to be in one of those things.
Yeah.
There's
No one else is answering your calls. You're just like,
nah, man. There's you gotta be at the very desperate to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do power slap. How do you even promote that? Mom, I'm gonna do power slap. Oh, what's that, hun? Well, basically just go to the table and he's gonna slap me first, and if I can stand up, I'm gonna go ahead and slap him back, mom.
yeah.
Just
It's like, so you can't protect yourself, son? And
eh.
like, no, mom, I just have to take it. Like,
That's
okay.
that's when she knew she fucked up.
Yeah.
She has
Like,
failed you as a mother.
I knew I should have whipped your ass that day that you cut school. I caught you
No,
doing
I
it.
should have bought you a tutor, maybe. Shit. Can you read, motherfucker? Like, go
Yeah,
get a
it's like,
job.
how about you be a referee for those guys and not actually participate? How about that, sir?
Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, no, Barry. I hope Regis isn't going there. Um, Catterall, you're with Eddie Hearn, bro. I ain't got too much hope for you. You're gonna fight Paro. I get it. Cool. That's a cool fight. No one's gonna care about in America. Got it. Then where are you going after that? You know, um, Lopez maybe Telefimo, but it seems more and more like Telefimo's going to 147. So I just don't know where he goes after this. His market's very small. Um, and Eddie Hearn's not the brightest promoter. Sorry. The evidence is out on Eddie now. I'd be
Mhm.
cautious moving forward with them. You're at the biggest time of your career. Watch him fight Sunduri. What's that dude's name? The
That's the
Spaniard.
difficult. Oh,
The
Sandor.
Spaniard.
Yeah,
Sandur. Watch
Sandor
him fight
Artur.
him, man. That'll be his
Yeah,
first title defense, lose the title. That's
yeah.
Eddie
And
Hearn
it'll,
for
it'll
you.
be like in fucking Davenport, Iowa, somewhere where like no one gives two fucks about it. Like, yeah, let's go here. Let's open the market here. These guys, this is a hotbed of boxing talent over here. Um, yeah, that's I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if
Just
that's the direction that they're going because
yeah, make sure it's not him, dude. Don't let Eddie do that to you.
yeah, yeah, be careful with that because I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them with Paro, but like you said, no one in the U.S. is gonna give two shits about it, and they're
Yeah.
gonna most likely do it over there in the U.K. I mean, Paro's fighting somebody in a few weeks or whatever, and he's fighting over there, or he just fought. I can't remember right offhand. Either he just fought or he's going to be fighting very soon, and he's going to be going to like was it Japan? I don't know where he's going. He's going to like elsewhere. He's not going to fight his. He has a belt, and he's not going to be fighting in his home country. So, if I recall correctly, but yeah, not a good idea. I don't know where. I mean, I guess for Regis, I guess if he wants to stick around, he'll basically just be a stepping stone at this point. He'll be a
Yeah.
gatekeeper, for other new guys coming up. Um, for Catterall, I mean, he has a little bit of leverage. He just beat Taylor, and now he's got a win off of Regis, the last two dudes who were like the top guys, in the weight class a few years ago. He has a little bit of leverage, I guess, to be like, all right, y'all, if you guys want to fight, I'm down to fight. But I don't remember if that was for a belt or like an interim belt or some sort of something or other belt. I think it was something. I don't know who exactly it would be. It might be Paro actually, because I think it's like some sort of WBO international intercontinental something or other. So I think that sort of kind of lines him up for a shot at Paro after should he defend his belt. But yeah, that kind of was a it was an okay fight. It was fun for as long as it lasted. I was watching with my dad actually. We were like catching it in my room, and my dad was like, "When the hell is Regis gonna pick it up?" And eventually he wasn't able to. It's those fucking legs. But Regis, if you're listening, I don't think bare knuckles is the way to go, buddy. It's gonna fuck you up, and the pay probably isn't gonna be what. I mean, it'd be
Won't
cool if
even
they
be
do, but
worth it.
yeah, it won't be worth it. That's what I'm trying to say. In the end, it won't be worth it. But anyway, that's really the only boxing that took place this weekend, this last weekend. There was some other fights, some other UFC cards, of course, but we have a couple of weeks. We have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on the 15th. There's a couple of fights, of course, between now and then that we'll make sure to mention at the end here. But that's one of the fights that we're looking forward to most because it's going to be on Netflix, and it's we're going to get to see how exactly boxing, or at least boxing on that level, is going to do on something like that. So I know today's the 31st of October. We're not exactly in November quite yet, but already looking forward to that because that's kind of one of the bigger fights in November. But anyway, um, speaking of big fights, I read this the other day, and I wasn't sure if this is true or not. But as I understand, it was Bob Arum himself who said it, because in the article he was quoted saying that the Bivol and Beterbiev rematch isn't going to take place until October of 2025, literally a whole fucking year from now, basically. As I understand it, as I read the article, it said that both fighters are going to have fights in the interim, so they are going to stay active and probably fight, I don't know, one more time, a minimum at least, I would have to say. Neither fighter looked like they came out, too injured. So I don't think they have. I mean, besides having maybe some nagging injuries that haven't gone away, maybe they'll just take some time off and just rest. But I don't think they want to do that at their age, or at least Beterbiev. I'm sure he wants to stay active. So it seems as though we're going to get at least one more fight from these guys before they fight again. I'm not down with that. I think that kind of sucks. I would have liked to at least have that fight a little sooner. Like, I don't really see the need to wait until October of 2025. It just seems like, Beterbiev is going to be 1 year older. I don't know how that's going to help him. I would have liked for the fight to have taken place, I don't know, maybe March, if being modest. If you want to push it even further, June 1st was when their first fight was supposed to take place before the postponement and Beterbiev's injury. But what do you think about this? October of 2025. That kind of sucks, no?
Yeah, no, it definitely sucks, and it doesn't. As of right now, it doesn't make really sense. Both men are above 32 years of age. One being 33, the other one's like 39. Betterbeev's like
Hmm.
39 years old. So the clock is definitely not on their side, right? Even for Bivol, 33 is not young. Um, Without the opponent being David Benavidez, who else do we really care about in the light heavyweight division? Like that, where we would step back and go, "Oh no, he's gonna fight that guy. All right, I'll see that one. Then we can move on to their rematch." It's David Benavidez or nothing, correct?
Yeah, or Benavidez' opponent, David Morrell. I mean, the interest obviously isn't
Oh,
the
well, you
same,
stop with
but
that guy. Will you stop?
you
I
know,
swear to God,
I, I,
Miguel is the biggest Eric Morel fan in the world.
David Morrell. I think I might be drinking the PBC Kool-Aid on it.
Man, oh man. All right, Eric Morel. No, I don't know, dude. Now, if he beats Benavides, of course, you're correct. Then, but not right off the top. You're right. He has to fight Benavides first. But I'm talking about.
Mm,
So it's not even David. So I'm even wrong on even thinking that or going down that route because David's already in a fight.
mm,
And unless His Excellency has already promised Benavides the winner, right?
mm.
It- there's a possibility that he promised David the winner and he's going to live up to that because maybe he thought Beterbiev was going to handle that fight a little bit easier than he did. So he already made plans. He will tell, give Benavides the fight with Beterbiev and then they go back to Bivol. That's the only scenario I'll take. If that's the scenario, it's great for boxing because then we get three badass fights back to back to back. We get the Bivol, Beterbiev 1, Benavides, Beterbiev, Bivol, Beterbiev 2. So unless Benavides beats Beterbiev, then that just throws a
Well,
wrench in the whole
that's
thing.
exactly what I was going to tell you. Like, is it too much of a risk? Is it like, damn it? Like, this is kind of, and it's happened sometimes. Well, it does happen regularly in any other sport, but also boxing. You want to prep these guys. I mean, we've seen it most recently with Fury and AJ. For one reason or another, one loses or one gets caught up in a trilogy or some shit while the other guy's kind of lingering around. Then he fights and then he loses, and then that fight goes to shit, and then he comes back, and then now Fury loses. So it's like there's too many obstacles or too many fights in between. That obviously is going to be a risk. Is that not too much of a risk? And not to say that Benavidez is like hell on wheels at 175 because he hasn't seen that, or he hasn't proven that at least at 175. So maybe maybe he does get the winner, or maybe he gets Better be of one, but that's kind of a risk, isn't it?
And until His Excellency learns from his mistakes, he's gonna make them. So this could be a mistake where he jumps the gun and loses the market for one fight because David turns around and beats Beterbiev.
Mm,
Um, in the UFC platform, nobody cares about losses, right? We just want to see the
right.
best fight the best.
Sure.
I don't know if that's what Ali Sheik is trying to bring into this sport. Like, who lost? And I think it was Bivol, right? When he lost, he went in the ring, said, "Don't worry about it. We'll still fight." I think he told Anderson, baby Anderson, what's his name?
Oh, real big baby.
Jared,
Yeah.
Jared Anderson. I think he told him the same. Don't worry about the loss. You'll fight, next year on my next card.
Mm-hmm.
So he might not be worried about losses. As long as we give him good fights, as long as the fans are tuning in and watching, maybe better be Benavides' fight anyways. But Miguel, I think we all know the ticket prices. That's when he's going to start seeing the market change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
can't have the ticket prices won't be the same if both guys are coming in off losses. They're just not. I don't care how good you say they are. People want to see winners fight against winners. It's just the
Right.
way it is.
Especially if they're fucking
Especially
undefeated, or
yeah, especially in boxing because we've been kind of groomed, brainwashed to the whole got to have all the titles, got to be
Mm-hmm.
undefeated, right? You have two losses, you must be over the hill, something's wrong. So that's just how boxers are. I don't see that changing, but we will see. Either way, if it's not Benavides, remember, people, we have no idea if it's Benavides or not. We're just jumping the gun here. Anyone
Mm-hmm.
else this is a bum fucking idea. If it's anybody
It
else,
really
this is
is.
a bum idea because nobody cares. We care about this much about the light heavyweights right now. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They're going to tell me Beterby's going to fight some dude from over there no one even knows about because he already knocked out Joe Smith. He already knocked out
That Yarde dude, or Yard, or
Yarde.
whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he's
who I
fucking
was
up
thinking
everybody at
about.
this point. Yeah.
Yes. And both of them, even Beterbiev beat Yarde too, or no?
It was no, that's what I was talking about. I think it was Beterbiev the one that beat him, but he like stopped him. I think.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember right offhand because I know Bivol beat Ramirez, Sudo Ramirez, and of course
and
also
Joe
Canelo
Smith. He beat
and Joe
Joe
Smith.
Smith
Yeah,
too.
he Joe
Yeah,
Smith. Yeah, but that was by decision. It wasn't named Beterbiev like slaughtered fucking Joe Smith,
two
but
rounds.
yeah. Um, but I mean, it just seems like too much of a risk. I think, and I don't. And this is kind of one of the things that we talk about. And mind you, this was from what I read, it was Bob Barum that said this. So I don't know if he was the one that actually made the decision, or if like it was, His Excellency who said it, and then Bob Barum's like, cool, I'm down with that. I don't know, but he needs boxing people around him, right? I'm talking about His Excellency to know what the fuck they're doing. And hearing it directly from Bob Barum, I'm like, what? That isn't. I mean, he's obviously a much more higher boxing IQ in the business, at least than His Excellency. So why would he? Why would do that? It just seems like too much. Number one, too much of a risk. Number two, kind of a stupid idea. I don't see much interest in these guys fighting
The
anybody else
money.
first.
Yeah, the money.
Yeah,
The biggest money for both guys is them rematching each other.
right.
There's absolutely no draw to them fighting challengers. I can't even name a challenger besides Benavidez
Yeah, again, either.
and Eric Morel, possibly anyone else in that division that would stray me away from wanting to see the rematch of them two. So
Mhm.
it's a very weird idea that I can only think that His Excellency got a little over confident in Beterbiev's chances of winning that night, and maybe set plans with him to move forward against someone else, and is just going to come back to this rematch after. Um, Maybe he doesn't want to start his business off like that, right? Doing backyard or with backdoor handshakes and then going out in public and going, nah, we're not going to do that. That's not a
Yeah.
good look either. So let's hope this is leading to Benavidez. When is Benavidez Morel? When is that fight?
Damn, good question. So I remember seeing that they were
And that
well,
wasn't on Tank, was it?
no, no, it
All right,
wasn't. But it
thank God.
was Spence, and was it?
Bandura.
Yeah, Spence and Fundura. If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna look it up here real quick. But I'm almost certain that it was supposed, or at least I read that it was gonna be under the Spence and Fundura. Like they were gonna act as the
Yeah,
co-main event.
that makes sense. I think you are right on that. That's why I thought it was either Tank and Roach or a good one, Spence and Fundura, because I do remember it. Could have swore it was Tank, bro. I thought they were doing that back to back double bill thing. Because remember they did it already. Remember when he fought Plant and Tank fought that other nobody, Frank Martin. Remembered your name, Frankie. Yee!
No, no, hold on. But Frank, hold on. So, oh no, that was Benavides and
Plant
no,
or
it wasn't Plant. It was the other
Andrade.
dude. No.
Andrade.
It wasn't Andrade. It was that Ukrainian dude who couldn't do shit. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
think of
yeah,
his name.
yeah. They went to
Something.
light heavyweight. They
Yeah,
went
he went to light heavy. Yeah,
or
because when you're right, when he went to light heavyweight, because when he fought Andrade or Plant, he was the main event. It was here in Vegas, as a matter of fact. He was the main event, but he did on the undercard of Tank and
Martin.
Martin, which you got no, you got the name right this time. Um,
Yee.
but it was on that one. But and then we saw, how poorly the fucking pay-per-view numbers did there. So, yeah, if I remember correctly, and I know it was announced some time ago, so it's not coming up on my feed immediately. But I'm almost certain it was Spence and Fundora was going to be the main event, and then the co-main event would be Morel and Benavides. So yeah,
Now is the
it was
Spence
on
fight still on?
As I understand it, yes, but the WBO decided to get their dirty mitts into the shit. So, according to what the WBO said recently, they will not approve Errol Spence as a legitimate challenger because he has yet to fight at 154. So they're not going to sanction that fight. So essentially, that fight is going to be just for the WBC title or the silver belt or whatever it is WBC belt that Fundora has at the moment. But basically, it says if Fundora faces Spence next, he will be stripped of the WBO title. So it looks like
Wow.
there's a chance that Fundora is just gonna take the fucking good money and fight Spence, and who gives a rat's ass about that WBO belt? He'll pick it up later probably or not, whatever. But yeah, it's not worth losing out on a fight like that. But supposedly the WBO is going in that direction, and they're going to strip Fundora of it if he decides to proceed with that fight with Spence, which looks like is most likely the case. But yeah, as I understand it, it's going to be on the undercard of that, which I'm okay with. I mean, I don't mind. That's a decent. That's like I guess a typical PBC card. I guess you can call it, right? But yeah, that's as a matter of fact, one of the other topics that I had on this here, not to jump topics, of course, but to finish off, to cap it off, that blows that we're gonna have to wait a whole fucking year. I was willing to pay pay-per-view to see Bivol and Beterbiev
Right.
if it happened within the next six months. I'm down with that. These guys aren't exactly spring chickens, and things, them being out of the ring, fighting nobodies isn't really, or fighting nobodies isn't really going to help much. I don't see the point in doing it, so it sucks that we're going to have to wait until October 2025. But I guess this is the direction they're going to go. But you did mention a few seconds ago, that was one of the stories that I wanted to talk about. Apparently, Gervonta Tank Davis and his upcoming fight with Lamont Roach Jr. is not going to happen in December. On the 14th, I believe it was originally scheduled. Per Dan Rafel, our good buddy Dan Rafel, it was an issue with the venue, according to what he says, or at least that's what they told him. Of course, other reports, specifically Rick Glazer's like, nah, brah, it's not a damn venue issue. It's because there's a money issue, and it has to do with Tank's guaranteed amount or lack thereof. I believe everybody's saying that if there was a guarantee, it was $3 million. So I
Wow.
don't know what happened to the 35 mil or whatever the hell it was that Tank was was reported, at least, maybe not Tank directly, but we've seen a couple of
There
reports
was
online about how
there
many
was there was a
millions.
small print that said if you fight Ryan Garcia, you would make 35 million.
Yeah,
That
right.
he forgot to mention that part.
Yeah. And if it makes 1.4 pay-per-view buys again, then you'll get that
Yes.
amount.
Yes.
Not just fighting anybody, which is kind of, that's what I don't understand about this. I get it. These promoters and these streaming services, they want to get guys on their channel that make money, that puts butts in seats and puts eyes on TVs and streaming services, right? I get it, but when they're fighting nobodies, and not to call any of them nobodies, but they kind of are. It's like, I don't understand how these fighters expect to get paid this much and fight subpar opponents. That's just that doesn't make sense. The point is, you risk a lot and you fight a top dude and you get a big payday for it. If you end up winning, you might even get a bigger fucking payday. But the point is, you risk it. And it seems to be the thing now where, like, no, I'm not going to risk jack shit. I'm going to take the easiest possible fights and make the most amount of money. And if PBC is willing to pay me a fuck ton of money, which, the Al and PBC have shown they are willing to pay that amount of money, even if they're fighting nobodies, well, it makes things a lot easier. It's the path of least resistance, the biggest amount of payday, or the biggest payday with the least amount of risk. And this is the result. Now Tank is backing out. Um, Again, we don't know the real story. It could be very well that what Dan Rayfield is saying is true, that it's an issue with the venue, but likely we know that's not the case. Um, what do you think about this?
Um. Yeah. What you said is correct about you have to risk. Uh. Your undefeated record. You have to go for titles to get money. That's true.
Mm.
There's also a time in the sport when the faces of boxing have a fan base that just enjoys your entertainment, just like comes out when you fight. You pack the house, you sell it out, the casinos are happy, everybody's happy. You can make money that way. Tank Davis is not there yet. Unfortunately, he thought he was with that one Ryan Garcia big payday. He thought he became the face of boxing and was now going to make 35 million per fight just to show up, and it would be a sold out crowd, and Denzel and Tiger Woods and all of them would be in the front rows to watch you. And none of them showed up.
No,
None of them showed up. No one bought the pay-per-view. And so now Al Heyman and him are sitting at a table looking at each other saying, who are we? Are we the 1.4 million pay-per-view buys, or are we the 200,000 buys, whatever him and Martin actually brought in? 60,000. Who really knows? And obviously, Al Heyman does not think he's the $35 million guy at this moment. Because that if that number is correct, that's so far away from what he just did this signing for.
Mm-hmm.
That's so far away. It's almost a disaster. And when you're thinking about Tank's career right now on how he could have signed that. Could you imagine that in any other sport though? You sign a $35 million contract, your first game, you get $3 million.
It's like it's gonna all come in the back end of the contract, all right? So just start off here, and then I promise you you'll get more later on. I don't get
basketball,
how people.
football,
Huh?
basketball, baseball are guaranteed. In football, a lot of that would have been guaranteed money on his signing bonus check or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In boxing, you get none of that. You get none of that. So Tank's got issues. On what's good for him, what he's fortunate about is he can clear these issues up real fast. Just pick up the phone and call one of the other champs, and everybody will tune in. Tank, swear to God, you could pick anyone, and they'll all tune in. But you keep picking guys that are under your weight division, guys that no one knows about. All right, those are the guys that you're going after, trying to make millions of dollars. Doesn't work that way. And I don't care how much your dad, Floyd Mayweather Jr., told you that's what he used to do when he would rob the bank. That's bullshit. Floyd didn't rob the bank until he was in his late 30s. All the time he was with Top Rank, all the time that he was with Golden Boy, the dude he was fighting top-notch opponents. He wasn't fighting bums. This guy was fighting the best of the best. Maybe not at the correct times, but their names were still the best of the best when he was taking them on, right? You could always say, well, wait, he was better at this. Yeah. But he was still one of the best, right? Well, yeah, he was still top 5. Okay, well, that's all Floyd cares about. Fuck off. So,
Right.
that's their argument, right? They're all the
Yeah,
best
it
of
is.
it. De La Hoya was one of the best of the best. But was he the best in 2014 that he was in 2007? Fuck no, he wasn't. But he was still one of the best. So I get your argument, and I'll just shut up. Right? That's how you do it, Floyd fans, because the Mosley thing, it's always the Cotto thing. It's always the same. There's Zab Judah. Zab Judah is a great fight at welterweight. It's a greater fight at junior welterweight, but
Mm-hmm.
we can't go down that road, right? Now I sound like the hater, right?
But
That's
in
what
the
they
end, you
always
gotta
tell
love it.
you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Oh, you can't make you happy. I'm like, whatever. I just know the sport, but yeah, you're right. He fought them all at the right time.
Right.
But either way, back to the Tank. Tank, you still got to get in the ring with some of these guys. Seriously, you couldn't even land Lomachenko. Lomachenko's exact example that Floyd would have fought. Floyd would have fought him. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
he's over the hill. He's on his way out. Floyd's faster than him. He's younger than him. He's stronger than him. Floyd fights him all day. You guys couldn't get him. You and Leonard fumbled that fucking ball.
Well, I mean, but they tried to,
Nope,
no?
they
No?
fumbled it. There are the drive. Miguel, when you make $35 million per fight, you are in the driver's seat. So if that man wants a raise, give him the money, get him out. Because Lomachenko, I'm not gonna say it's 1.4 million, but damn, Tank, you would have got way more than 500,000. I almost guarantee you that pay-per-view would have done more than half a mil. Lomachenko versus Tank, I think would have drawn eyeballs, dude. So they got to do whatever they can to get him in that ring. They fumbled that, not Lomachenko. If anything, Lomachenko probably just outpriced himself and walked away. Said, wait, they'll call. They didn't call. They never called back. He's like, what? Bunch of dummies? Don't they know how to negotiate? Who knows? But he didn't even. You don't even have a report of Gervonta offered Lomachenko the most money he's ever made in his career,
Right.
and he turned it down. And if you really want to fight, that's what you got to do sometimes to get the best to fight you, right?
Yeah.
You overprice. I know they would have made their money. They would have made the money back on that one. Could have gave them $5 million. You still would have made your, I don't know about 35 million, but I also don't have the calculator. I don't know how they come up with these numbers. Um, so he can clear this up easily by making a fight with one of the other big names. We're all waiting. We're waiting. And unfortunately, I swear to God, watch, he's gonna come back and you're gonna be like, what? He's 33? It seems to be all the PBC guys, dude. They stay away. They have one fight a year, then one day they have this big fight, and you're like, yeah, this is the big one. What? He's 34 now? Holy shit! They're
Yeah.
just old, you know. It's like, what the fuck did you guys do? It's really weird what's going on. Hopefully Davis doesn't do that. He's still young. He's in at 29, 28, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say he's right at the mark. Like he's going to be 30 real soon, or at least by the
Uh,
next year, obviously,
so
right?
he
But
might be 30 the next time he's in the ring, is what you're saying.
let me look it up to be sure. But
All right.
I'm damn near certain because I was going to ask you, is the Lomachenko like really the Lomachenko fight like? Well, for starters, we don't know the reason what that Lomachenko decided to step away, right? He just gave us some super general shit like, I don't fucking feel like it or whatever. I forgot what it was that he told us or what he said to the media, but it was some super generic and like very vague answer as to why he
Right.
decided not to fight um, Tank. But um, is that fight still not on the table? Like, let's say what you said, Tank, you can fix this right now. Just pick up the phone and call one of the champs. Can't he do that with Loma and just, I guess, offer him more money? That's still salvageable, isn't it?
Of course. Yes, it's still salvageable, but I don't think they're going to do it. They don't have guaranteed money over there. You got to
Mm.
remember that if it was guaranteed money, Tank would be fighting. Um, who's the guy they just denied?
Loma?
Roach.
Oh, Roach.
He'd
Oh,
be
gotcha.
fighting Roach for 30 million. Canelo can do it. Hey,
Hmm.
Canelo might have to take pay cuts and all that, but he could still pull off a $30 million payday fighting some fucking nobody, fighting a sparring partner. Because he has the fan base, because he has the global recognition. He's not just shown here in America and in Mexico. He's also shown in the UK. He's also shown in freaking Asia. Like
Yeah.
Canelo's global. You know what I'm saying? Is Tank global? Really don't know. I don't know if they're watching him in the UK. There's a lot of times on those chat rooms you can tell who the UK fan base is watching and who they're not. And there's times in America's boxing that they're not tuned in at all. Just like sometimes AJ and them are fighting and not all Americans are tuned in, right? So the
Hmm.
same thing happens over there. So I don't know where Tank lands on the global um, side of this market. Um, but if he's only in America's not doing that great in boxing right now. You know what I'm saying? We're just it's not. He doesn't have a platform right now for that $30 million payday. He would have to hook up with someone like DAZN or someone to get him global, and then he need the opponent. And that's why I thought Lomachenko was the opponent. That's where I was taking this. Loma is the global guy.
Yeah.
That's the one that would put his face like Ryan did great with him locally, right? That made him viral locally, 1.4 million. Then they were all over the internet. Now you fight Loma. You imagine if you would have made Loma a highlight reel, had a great knockout on that dude.
Yeah. And that's literally like the perfect opponent. Already over the hill to some degree, right?
Yes,
On the way out,
yes.
still relatively significant, beating somebody like him, and then doing it in the knockout fashion that he has done. Um, knocked out other people. He's 29 and he's turning 30 like in a few weeks on the 7th of November.
Oh
So,
fuck. So
yeah, so
he's
he's al- so
30
he's
the
there.
next.
He's
Yeah.
30. Yeah, 2 weeks
Next time
away,
we
or
see him fight.
1 week from now he'll be 30. The next time we make a show, no, but 1 week from now he'll be 30, and if
And he
that
fought
fight,
he fought Ryan 2 years ago.
um, let me see, 2022. Let's find this out. Ryan, no, 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 it was April 2023, so year and a half,
Year and a
a little,
half.
little over a year and a half. So,
It's gonna
um,
be. I mean, we're in October though, bro. So we're getting there. You said April of 23. I mean, we're in,
yeah, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, yeah, exactly. A year and 7 months. We're headed towards a
yeah.
year and 7 months. Um, yeah. So that was like last time anything significant happened. And then before then, I mean, shit. The other ones were just Isak Cruz and Barrios and Romero. Those are the names that he had. Those aren't going to bring in Ryan Garcia numbers or even Lomachenko numbers. I'm sure they always do this, and it pisses me off that Tank goes this route, and Leonard Ellerby, they they're like, is this guy, is he a ticket seller? Like, we're the ticket sellers, right? Almost like they're trying to shortchange. lowball the fighter, saying like,
Right.
you're not the ticket seller, we're the ticket seller. It's all right, I'll make less than you, but don't give me no fucking piece of shit, dollars and change or whatever. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why Lomachenko decided to just, like, no, fuck this. Look, you're the A side, cool. You're the one that brings in the pay per view, right? Lomachenko's never been on pay per view, so he's unproven. Tank has, but really with shitty numbers. But he at least has been on pay per view, so they look at themselves as being the A side, and they call the shots. Cool, right on. I don't dispute that. But give Loma a nice fucking payday.
You got to
A
land the fight.
significant payday. Yeah, exactly. You gotta land the
now,
fight.
now, when the fight doesn't get made, it's their fault, right? If we're gonna
Yeah,
say all that about them, well, then it is their fault that that fight didn't get made.
yeah, exactly. Now, your suspicion, right? I mean, everybody's suspicion, but I want to ask your opinion on that. Um, how So the initial report, of course, the actual, I want to say official, because it's not Tank's people saying it, it's Dan Rafael saying it, that it's an issue with the venue. Um, could that be legit? Could the issue be the venue, but still be about money, like something to do with money, but still with the venue? Or is it just, Amazon or fucking PBC saying like, no, Tank, we don't want to give you 35,000 or 35 million to fight Lamont? Could it be also the venue? Like, could that be like, yo, you gonna fill this place up or not?
I mean, did they give us any detail of why it's the venue? Like, I mean, Miguel, when you plan these fights, right? You call your venue and you go, "Hey, I'm looking at," and I'm just throwing out numbers, you guys. I'm looking at the weekend of the 17th. You guys got that space open? The venue then the events coordinator or whatever looks at her calendar or looks at his calendar and goes, "Oh yeah, 17th is open. Nah, we don't got nothing that day." And they go, "Cool. How much to rent it out?" And then they go over what they rent, what they're getting, right? I mean, isn't it pretty? It's not like they said, "Hey, we want the 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock time frame." You're getting the whole day, you're getting the whole week, whatever it is, and they're gonna fucking tell you if the day's open or not. So I can't see the venue being an issue. If it was planned correctly, the venue should have been if the venue's the issue, that should have been on day one. It should have been
Yeah.
like, "Hey, we want to make a fight. I'm gonna call the venue. Damn, venue's blocked. Venue's filled for that day. Let's go on to step two." Right? Isn't step one the fucking venue, Miguel?
Secure the venue.
Secure the venue, bro. It has to be the first step you do.
This is what I'm seeing. It says, and this is from this one particular website called Big Fight Weekend. It says Gervonta Davis was expected to defend his WBA lightweight title on December 14th at the Toyota Center in Houston. Against Lamont Roach Jr. Dan Rafael has now reported via his Fight Freaks Unite website, Substack is called, that sources with knowledge of the Davis Roach fight told him that the fight will not happen this year. The WBA approved the fight. Well, Tank saying he's hearing January. The exact reason for the delay to this fight is unclear. But Dan Rafael reports via sources that there was an issue related to the venue. Where and when Davis Roach takes place is not certain. Sources have revealed to Fight Freaks United, his website, that it is unlikely. It is unlikely to be on the same bill as Benavides and Morel. Okay, so unlikely for it to happen then. But moving it to January, it seems a new venue or new city has not been announced. I mean, shit, they barely announced the fight itself, but nothing specific as far as the venue goes. I'm starting to think that it isn't so much like, hey, are you guys open on the calendar, but rather the venue being like, all right, well, what kind of money you guys gonna bring in? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it? Are they seeing, maybe like the venue people know, like, look, man, your last fucking card didn't do all that great, so we're gonna have to charge you X amount of dollars for
No,
here.
the
And they're
the
like, no,
venue. No, I think that's a flat fee, Miguel. Flat fee.
yeah,
You can't tell an events person, whoever's throwing the event, "Oh, this looks like it's gonna make good money. All right, I'm gonna charge you more." I don't think it works that way.
no,
They have a capacity of seats. They say, "Look, we got 20,000 seats here. We're gonna set this at this price is what it is to rent this venue, and you have 20,000 seats to make that money plus whatever money you want to make up after." Now, I think it's more goes, and I know that ain't the whole thing, you guys, but I'm giving you a poor man's description of
Explanation. Yeah.
explanation of getting a venue here. And that's that. It has to be a flat fee, because then you would have people lawsuits coming. Hey, you gave that white guy a fucking $10,000 venue fee, and I'm a black guy or I'm a brown man, and you gave me a $30,000 one just because you knew more prices were going to be there.
Well, because ticket prices change, no? So it's like, well, I
That's
figured,
hey,
and that's
that's all up to the event though. They're the ones that set the price on the tickets, man. Yeah, they're the one.
well, that's what I'm saying. So let me give you this scenario. Tank comes in and says, "I'm gonna post a fight here or whatever. I'm gonna have a fight. I want this venue to host," and their ticket prices are kind of a little stupid, you know. And I'm saying pricier than it should be, and the venue's like, "Yo, I don't know if you can fucking fill up this fucking thing. Like, I don't know if we're gonna do that." No, you don't think
no.
that's the like,
No,
you know,
they got a flat fee, and if you make it, you make it, and if only 10 people show up, fuck you, pay me. That's that Goodfellas line, right? Fuck you, pay me. That's what the venue says.
yeah.
We said we wanted 1.5 million for tonight's venue. You're giving us 1.5 million. Oh, we only made 10 grand at the table. Well, see you in court now, right? Because you said 1.5 million. So I believe it's whatever is on that, whatever that venue is for the fee. Because look, this is why some people don't like taking big venues, because they don't know if they're going to make it back, right? The bigger the venue, the bigger the fee, right? And then if you don't make the money back, you're screwed. So people start in little venues. So that's where that comes in, where that whatever Houston Center, whatever their seats, they thought they could rent that, and I'm sorry, I don't think that was the issue. I gotta side with who's the other guy you're always
Oh,
getting from?
Rick Laser, yeah.
I got to side with Glazer on this one. This had to be about that $3 million payday. If that is legit, that he was only offered $3 million for this fight, Tank, you're 30 years old, right? I mean, seriously, let's not fuck around here. You're 30 in 2 weeks. You got to start making your serious money, or this thing's gonna pass you by. Your youth is gonna pass you by if it already hasn't. So
I'm looking for the thing. Here we go. Okay, so this is what he put 4 days ago. Rick Laser says, Tank's value to PBC is very strong, and he's one of the PBC fighters that can sell pay-per-views. But why did they want to guarantee Tank 3 million to fight Lamont Roach? But the same company, PBC guaranteed Canelo 35 million. Okay, but that part doesn't really matter. But he's coining that, or he's quoting that amount, saying why would they want to give him that when they give Canelo 35? Whatever, we don't give a fuck about Canelo. But it's like, oh shit, what? 3 million? Oh shit! So that's the number that sticks out the most. So there's where I got it from Rick Laser's Twitter account. So damn, I mean, if I don't know what his previous what was I'm trying to remember some of his previous paydays. I'm talking about Tank, but they weren't they weren't 3 million, right? They were
3 million, and honestly, it doesn't matter what he used to make, right? Because when it rains, it pours, and in this new contract, it was supposed to start pouring.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's not happening. That was a lie. Somebody lied, and I gotta blame Tank. Tank thinks he's gonna get something for nothing, and that's just not how this thing works. It didn't even work for that. I've always said this. The worst thing about the PBC fighters, when they met Floyd, he was already Money Mayweather, right? They don't see Floyd on the come up. They don't see Floyd hurting, striving, trying to get there, trying to be that guy. They get there and he's already got the cars, the jewelry, the girls. He's the king already. So they all just want to skip everything else and get right to that. And they got some fucking lion ass named Al Heyman who had all this money in a bank. He just needed some fucking guys to do a Ponzi scheme with, basically. And they all said, all right, yeah, you're going to make us Floyd. He's like, yeah, sure, Floyd, yeah, whatever, yeah. Floyd, yeah. Where's Floyd at? Oh, he's not here, but yeah, I'm going to make you him. But he's not in the building. No,
he told me to say hi to you guys. He wanted
exactly, yeah. I can call him, but I don't want him in this building. The fuck?
He might not answer. We might get his answer machine, but
Always found that weird. I've always found it weird how much Mayweather praised Al Heyman, yet never got involved with the PBC. And the only thing I could come up with is because the PBC lied about things they did for Floyd when Floyd wasn't in that room. See, because Floyd, I know if Floyd was in that room, he'd be like, hold the fuck on. All right, you did some. All right, cameras are off. You did some. You didn't do all that.
Yeah.
Right? I truly do think that's why Al Heyman did not have him the face of PBC. Basically, fuck Leonard Ellerby. Floyd, you're about to retire. Why don't you just become a promoter like you were trying to do with your other promotional company that went belly up, dude? Belly up on gyms. Now we're rumored a house is being sold in Las Vegas. Like, come on.
Hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
I think Floyd would have loved that gig as CEO of PBC. Fucking fight. Leave Leonard at the chicken and waffle where you left him the first time.
Yeah, precisely. The rumors that we're hearing about Floyd, having to give up his shit. I mean, even his brand of clothing, like the TPE hats and T-shirts and shit like that. Like I used to see those. I live in Vegas, and there's a couple of fight shops around here, and you can go and you find stuff, WWE stuff, you fight UFC stuff, and everything at these fight shops, and they had everything from like cardboard cutouts of fucking Floyd to the TBE hats and everything, always fully stocked. Like no one bought that shit. I even saw like a couple of hats that had like the half American, half Mexican flag. Like he's trying to cater to Terraza. It's like, bro, we fucking hate you, man. What the fuck? Why the hell? Why the hell you gonna try to sell to us? We're not gonna buy your damn shirts or your friggin', and then like leaving town. I don't know if it's still there, but you leave Vegas or on the way back, he's got a big ass billboard, or at least had a billboard that had like 50-0 or 51-0 or whatever the hell his record is. It's like any other venue or any other business venture that of his, just doesn't seem to be cutting it, which is why we think he's still doing his exhibitions in Japan or wherever the hell he goes, Riyadh season, or I don't know if he's going over there yet, but
He's been hella quiet.
yeah.
Floyd's been so quiet, bro. I could only imagine how much trouble he's in financially right now. That's how quiet he is.
Mhm.
Like the dude just isn't out anymore. The World Series just happened, wasn't there. NBA just started. Haven't seen one picture of him courtside. Like, where the fuck's Floyd at? Floyd's hurting somewhere. He's in a room with a calculator and a and a financial advisor. Like, that's all I have left. Floyd, I've done the numbers 17,000 times. Where's this $8 million watch? I don't know. Well, you owe on that, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's this fucking $18 million one? Oh, it's right there. Sell it. Can't. Fuck.
Yeah. It's like look at all these fucking embroidered towels that you have in your house. Like I don't think you need to really have these embroidered t-shirts.
Do you know how uncool it is to have something of another man's and say that that's your pride and joy? Even if it's an $18 million watch. Could you imagine having your friend be like, dude, that's Floyd's watch? I don't care what you jerk off with it. What the fuck? Why would you buy Floyd's watch? What the fuck?
It's like if I put the watch in my left hand and I jog off with that, it feels like it's another person. Man. I swear. Okay. All right, buddy. Relax. It feels like he's right there in the room.
Shit can't be worth anything, man. I know there's not rich men. Now home run balls, the ball freaking Tom Brady threw in the Super Bowl. That I get, right?
Yeah.
Memorabilia.
Right.
But
Jimi Hendrix guitars or some shit.
Yes, exactly, bro. But no, not jewelry, not your fancy car with your name on the back on the seat.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just, bro, you invested in the wrong things.
Yeah, and we're seeing the results of it now. I mean, if that's the direction that Tank is going, that doesn't look very good. And he's going to turn 30 here very soon. So I don't know. Something needs to change quick. Like we've said it before. Canelo was one of the few guys that can say like, "Nah, Sheik, I ain't interested in your shit, Mr. Excellency, whatever." Tank was another one who said no. Is Tank possibly on the verge of maybe changing his tune?
He has to change his tune. He's going to have to because the party's going to pass him right the fuck up.
Well, they kind of already have. I mean,
we haven't seen someone be successful in this Rehad thing yet. But once they find their little Manny Pacquiao or their Floyd Mayweather, someone who can give them wins after wins after wins, and they literally build a career on the guy, could you imagine what Ali Sheik would give presents to someone in their prime like a Tyson or a De La Hoya or a Leonard? I mean, someone that he actually thought, you are my future. Do you imagine what you're gonna get as a young man from him? He'd probably be like, wake up, just look outside. I got you a present. Got you a present. Look
Yeah.
outside. You
It's like,
like it? It's a Lamborghini, bro. What am I gonna do? Ah, I like
yeah.
you. You're gonna be the future. Click.
It's like you see that helicopter in your front yard right now. It's like we're gonna get a landing pad in your fucking front yard real soon. Like, oh, okay,
Can you imagine? Yeah, dude. Like, look at what he's giving the fans. Right?
yeah,
He's handing out cars to fans, handing out trips to Saudi Arabia to
yeah,
fans.
right,
Could
right.
only imagine if you come out the Olympics and sign with him what your bonus presents would be during the holidays and during anytime you make that man money, basically. So we haven't seen that side yet, basically, where I'm going at with that, Miguel. We're seeing a lot of, he's dealing with guys that are already established right now. Let's see when he gets his first face of his Riyadh season.
Hmm. All right. Well, that's the news. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a good end of the year fight with Tank in there, but chances are it's going to be January, and no new venue has been set. For all I know, it's going to most likely happen in the same spot anyways. They're going to come to some sort of agreement, and it's going to happen in the Toyota Center anyway. But all right, we got no Tank at the end of the year. All right, a couple of other fights, not really announcements, but kind of like tremors, rumors. Um, I read recently that there is a possible card that's going to happen in 2025 with Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz versus Virgil Ortiz, and on the undercard, or at least co-main event, we have Bam Rodriguez against Chocolatito Gonzalez. That obviously is going to happen or I'm talking about Jaron and Ortiz. It's going to happen on 154. So this in a few is it actually let me pop them pull it up here in a second, but Jaron is fighting very soon. He's going to be defending his IBF welterweight title in a rematch against a guy whose name I can't pronounce, Karen something or other. It's going to be on the zone. He's going to be defending his belt there. And the first fight he won pretty easily, but his opponent gave him a much tougher fight than should have been. But regardless, Jaron won, and he's going to have a rematch now as champion against this dude, and that's going to happen real soon in the next couple of weeks here. I forget the specific date, but um, that means that he's going to leave the welterweight division behind and then go to 154. It seems as though he's still on the hunt. I'm talking about Jaron on the hunt for Terrence Crawford. It seems like he wanted him at 147, right? But Terrence said, "Fuck this, I'm out of here. I don't need the belt, and I don't need Jaron's ass over here." So he's gonna go 154. We saw him fight against Madrimov, and it seems as though that's the direction that Jaron is going. Um, I don't think a fight with Ortiz is a good idea right off the bat. Maybe go to 154 and have a fight there first, and then maybe fight somebody like Ortiz. But so far, those are the rumors. What do you think about that kind of fight, Jaron Ennis and Ortiz Jr. and Virgil Ortiz?
It Both men have waited so long. I don't mind if they have an itch to fight each other right now. Um, you would like for the fight to grow a little bit more. That them both being so young in age, you would think that they could hold off. But dude,
Yeah,
it seems like Jerome has been trying to get a fight for God knows how long, and same with Ortiz. And so you're just left with two guys that are like desperately trying to become what they think they are, right? The faces or the new rising stars or whatever. And for whatever reason, it's just not happening. Like, it's hella sad that you just announced Jerome Edis's first title defense is a rematch of a guy we don't even know still.
I think it's second title defense, but regardless, it's still somebody else. It's
But you
somebody.
know what it's a
Yeah,
rematch.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a rematch against a guy we don't even know.
Right,
So how much, Miguel? I thought we were both real big boxing guys. How 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 big of a fight could this really be,
right.
Eddie? Who just won a title over there? Oh, Catterall. Remember Catterall? Eddie.
Yeah, this is a tweet that I got from Michael Benson. Virgil Ortiz versus Jeron Ennis and Jesse Bam Rodriguez and Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez are being eyed a possible fight for February 22nd Riyadh season show in Saudi Arabia. Ortiz and Rodriguez's trainer Robert Garcia has said. So it was Garcia who said it. That seems to be the direction they're going to go. Not a bad deal for Ortiz. I mean, but I don't know. It just seems like just blowing our wad too quickly. This fight can get juicy and it can get good, but I think they're kind of going at it too quickly. February. That's I mean that's kind of the timeline I would have liked to have seen Bivol and Beterbiev for fuck's sake. So I'm okay with the date. It's early 2025, but I mean the fight itself. I'm interested in the fight. Of course, it just seems like they're pulling the trigger a little too quickly on that one. In your opinion, even now, with Duran not fighting at 154 yet, he's going to fight, and I keep forgetting the date. Either it's this weekend or the one that follows. But I'm assuming after that, should he win, of course, presumably he will. He'll drop the IBF belt and then move up to 154, and then we have ourselves a fight with Ortiz. How do you see that fight going?
With Ortiz and Ennis?
Yeah, with Ennis not fighting at 154 until that fight.
I don't mind that. Or I'm not 100% sold on Ortiz yet. You got to remember, both guys are still very young in their career. I know they're walking around with straps and they've got belts, but none of these guys took out the guy in front of them to get where they're at. And then boxing, that's usually what these dudes had to do. I don't even know if has Ennis even fought a stepping stone we can gauge off of, or is this all fucking
Lipinets? That Lipinets dude is probably the last one that I can remember right offhand.
It's so sad. It's so sad where he hasn't even fought in the PBC guys, bro. Like why the fuck? Why didn't he fight Porter, Danny Garcia, Spence? Why didn't he fight any of them? He was with PBC for so long. They're hiding something. They know something about Ennis we don't. Ennis got knocked out in sparring or something. That's why El Heyman never pulled the trigger. Because it doesn't make any sense, bro. He has like nobody on his record, and he was with one of the most active welterweight promotional companies in the sport. They had all the guys at welterweight, right?
Yeah, I mean, they did. They had
look
the Porter, they had the Spence, they had Thurman, they had
Ortiz,
and Danny Garcia. They had all of them.
Yeah. Even Barrios, they had Barrios. They couldn't give him Barrios. What about the twin brothers? The guys they had fight hella dudes. Al Heyman had these brothers fight everyone, man. Ennis never got one of them. Lamar and
Jeez.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, but yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. He never even got a piece of them. Like, how could he not? How did he miss every single guy in their stable? That seems weird. That seems hella weird. Somebody knows something. Maybe we'll see on this weekend. And you said he had a rematch. He had a hard fight or a harder than tougher fight than it should have been. Maybe it's not that, Miguel. Maybe he's just not as good as we think he is, right? Because definitely Lamont Peterson, right?
Oh,
that was his name.
Yeah. Peterson. I don't think he's a twin though. There's another Peterson, but I don't think they're twins.
They weren't twins, no.
No.
They're just homeless brothers. I remember they were homeless.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about so. For those of you who may or may not know, I live in Vegas, and I was thankfully I was invited to a media workout by Mario Barrios. Mario was putting one on, and I put it on our YouTube channel. So I got the invite. I went and I got right. For some reason, my phone acts up sometimes, and the microphone just picks up a lot of static. And I have like an external microphone, so I have some footage of him hitting the bag and everything, and it comes out kind of staticky. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to fix that before I put it on my YouTube channel. But regardless, I got a video out there asking him. Everybody was there asking a couple of media people in a little like miniature scrum before he got into the ring, and he was asked about Jeron Ennis, and he was like, yeah, I'll any single one, I'm down. And he's the PBC dude. I know Ennis just left PBC to go to Matchroom, but regardless, they can make the fight happen, I'm sure. But Barrios is like, he's going to be fighting on the undercard of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul against Abel Ramos, another PBC dude, and He's like, yeah, I'm just dying. Like right now, he's peaking. He's peaking as far as he's got a belt at welterweight. And I asked him, I was like, of all the other champions, because he's the only champion that has a loss on his record, has two losses. Every other champion at welterweight has an undefeated record. And I was like, and I asked him, and I don't know if you guys can catch on. I'll try to edit it so it'll come up with that. Like I'll cut that specific part out where I asked the question. But I asked him, of all those other champs, who would you like to take their O the most? And he kind of was like, I don't give a fuck, man. Like anybody, I'll take anybody. Jaron Ennis being the bigger name of all of them, I'm sure that's going to be the one that interests him the most. But not even that fight happened, and it's like I'm starting to suspect I'm starting to understand what you're saying. How Heyman and uh, what's his name, Jaron's people are like concerned about something.
Right.
Something happens, like shit. We don't want to put him up against some of these other champs because some of these other champs like Stanionis, those guys are tough motherfuckers, man. And they might not be the biggest names, but it seems like that's the direction Jaron is going. It's like, no, fuck these guys who can give me a run for my money, even though they have belts. I would much rather go with a guy who's a bigger name than that, as if he himself is a big name, which he isn't yet. But um, but yeah, that seems to be the case, right? It's just like, why hasn't any of those other fights happened?
Ever happened? I was even gonna throw out Guerrero, dude. When he was coming up, Guerrero, when
Yeah,
when Ennis is coming up, Guerrero's on his way out, but still fighting freaking everyone the PBC basically had. He
yeah.
doesn't even get a fight with him. He doesn't even get a fight with Figueroa, another guy that PBC put up with hella different guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Not even a yeah. I don't know. It's weird, man.
Dude,
It's
Guerrero would
weird.
have been perfect, and I mean not for Guerrero, but for Ennis. At least
Right.
he's got a name, and that's one of the things that, and we can go back to Floyd, about him having names after they were great, but he fought them, like till at the point that they were still relatively significant, and everybody does it, Canelo does it, he fought Mosley way past everybody does it, right?
Right.
Why hasn't he done that? Guerrero would have been fucking perfect. He's way past his prime at this point. He can give him rounds, right? He's gonna be
Right.
in there basically to the very end, and he's the kind of guy that doesn't back down. Why wouldn't you have a name like that on your record? Be like, all right, he's on the way down, I'm on the way up. That's usually how it works. And
Right.
the old lion gets taken out. But Guerrero would have been fucking perfect.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So on that same card, we're supposed to get Bam Rodriguez against Chocolatito. That's gonna be pretty fun. I know. R.I.P. Lee Honish. He always says that shit. He always talks about the smaller guys. He's like, I can take shit bigger than these guys. So I know the smaller guys don't get a lot of love oftentimes, but we are talking about 115 pounders. Super flyweights with Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez and Bam Rodriguez. That fight will be fun as fuck. I think that fight. I mean, I don't know how much Gonzalez has left in the tank. I know he's kind of made a little bit of a resurgence recently, but I'm not sure he has that much left in the tank. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Jaron
Yeah.
should do.
Yeah.
We have somebody like Chocolatito who's got himself a name, and Rodriguez who's just whooping ass left and right, and presumably, we don't know. Presumably, Bam's going to come in here and win. I mean, he was dropped by Estrada in his most recent fight, but and I think the one before that, I should say. But anyway, Chocolatito's going to go in there and pretty much do whatever he can at this point in his career, and presumably, if Bam gets the victory, he has another name added to his record, and boom, the legacy starts. If Ennis is reading this is how you do it, John. If you're listening to this is how you do it. You put some names on your record. Granted, they may not be top notch guys at that moment, but the bottom line is we have recognizable names on your record. But that's a pretty good fight, right? I mean,
Oh, it's
Chocolatito
an
and Bam.
excellent fight. It's an excellent fight because Miguel, he's fought in everyone, right?
Yeah,
You're lining him up, and the kid is dropping him right now. That's all he's doing. So, Chocolatito, yes, um, he's been in the sport a long time. We've been saying his name since HBO,
yeah,
so he is on the older side. But because of Rodriguez's activity, none of his fan base will care. Roman's still a top contender. You just got done knocking out Estrada, the best fighter in the division. Why not get one step back? You know what I mean? This isn't. It's not like Rodriguez is taking out Chocolate. How do you say it? Chocolatito.
Chocolatito. Yeah, you got it. You got
Yeah,
it.
Chocolatito, and saying now I'm the face of boxing, and that's what a lot of the PBC guys are trying. Ennis tried to do. Ennis tried to go from winning some vacant title to fighting. All of a sudden, he's supposed to fight Terrence fucking Crawford. that's the jump that they're trying to make, right?
Mhm.
They don't want to build their way up where Rodriguez went the right way. He's built up his career. He's taken out all the old guys, and unfortunately, Roman's one of the last old fighters he needs to take out and then move on and start dominating this division. And so no, totally excellent fight for him. I will be watching. I expect him to win, but definitely will be watching. Yeah.
All right. So I guess preliminary predictions. We're expecting Bam to win. I didn't know if I caught your preliminary prediction for Ortiz and Ennis. Should that fight
That's a
happen
hard
with
one. It's a
yeah?
tough fight, man, because they're both young. I really don't have anything to gauge off of.
Mhm.
Um,
How about weight?
you know,
Considering that
well, if you
Ortiz
want
is
to go
ten and
with
one four.
weight, yeah, I mean Ortiz is probably got the bigger punch and he's the bigger fighter. Um, so yeah, he'll be the favorite definitely. But I'll watch Ennis's next fight and give my thoughts on after this about what I think Ennis is, because I want to say I wasn't even impressed with his first DAZN fight that he had with them. I was like, all right, this is what supposed to be fighting Terrence Crawford. It was one of those moments, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And we
Um,
and we did kind of talk about it a little bit. We're like, this is, it's we can see why Terrence is like, nah, bro. We understand both of their positions. Um, Ennis wanting a big fight, and then he has the number one pound for pound guy in his weight class or a neighboring weight class. So clearly he's going to go in that direction. But we know the flip side of that coin is Crawford saying, fuck you, dude. I don't give a fuck about the IBF belt. You go ahead, take it. I'm looking for like bigger money fights ahead. So I
right,
get both of their questions, both of their positions. I mean, but yeah, that fight with Ennis, at least his own debut, it didn't light any fires. It just didn't
right,
really move the needle as much as we were hoping it would move the needle, and to some degree it kind of proved um Crawford right. It's like,
right,
yeah, forget this dude for the time being.
right. The talks definitely died down. The
Yeah,
talk just went away. Yeah,
it really did. And I think it's starting to look like people are asking, because that's the first thing that one of the first things that Crawford gets asked a lot is Ennis, is Ennis right? And that doesn't seem to be the case anymore, right? It just seems like those questions aren't being asked now because of his interest in Canelo, or the potential, one and one with Connor or something. Like those are capturing his attention and the media's attention as well. And it's almost as if the media is noticing and they're not asking Crawford about Duran anymore, really, at this point.
right.
Okay, so that was one of our other ones. So a couple of other topics here that we kind of went through some of the stuff that we went through quicker than I would have thought. But regardless, most recently, it was announced earlier in the week, I believe, that Seniesa Estrada is officially retiring from the ring, from boxing. She basically had this. I haven't watched it, but she had this like one-on-one interview with I forget her name. She was with Top Rank. I forget her name, but Cynthia Punch or something like that. I forget her name. But anyway, had like a one-on-one interview, basically answering all the questions as to why, yada yada. I haven't actually read, or I should say heard of the interview yet. I haven't watched it. So she Estrada Superbad actually put it on her Instagram as well, just kind of saying like, I'm gonna let you guys know what's up, real soon. Basically, in regards to that interview, alluding that she's going to have this interview real soon to explain why she's walking away. But in essence, I think she's just tired. Like she's been boxing since she was very, very young, and it's just like, it's very taxing, physically taxing on your body. I mean, it does it for women. I mean, for men, I can imagine it does it for men as well. But it doesn't more, I think, because of like, a woman's smaller frame, usually a smaller frame, their body can only take so much. And she's been in boxing for a long fucking time. So she's essentially, wrapping it up and calling it a career. She got undisputed belts and I don't know how many different weight classes, but she's in a tough spot, because of how small she is. So there's only so many fights that she can actually like
Right.
make, like big money fights. But did you hear about this recently? Did you like her
I
announcing
just
her
I
retirement?
just heard she had I just heard she had retired. Yeah, I didn't really follow her career, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just glad she still looks pretty.
Yeah, right. Low key, I kind of thought that maybe she's gonna like go into something else, like not modeling or anything like that. But I thought like, is she gonna try MMA? Is she gonna try? That's kind of what I was thinking. But
Wow.
I don't. That's just me because I'm like, well, what else is she gonna do? But I mean, I'm sure she's got plenty of other options. But the fact that she said like, I think she's tired. Like I remember her saying that she's been in it such a long time. Like she's had injuries come and go, and maybe she's at the point where she wants to have a family or something, I suppose. So I think she's probably just going to call it quits. That too. I don't know if that's what she said in that interview, but I'm going to check it out to see
That's a
what she does
big
say. Yeah.
that's a big sacrifice that women have to do. You know, women
Yeah.
athletes, they're not like men, dude. Men athletes can still plan that baby. They can plan a
Mhm.
marriage. They can do all that. A woman really has to put all that on the back burner when they're in the prime of their career. It's
Mhm.
kind of sad. So if that is why, then that's way understandable on why she's retiring. What seems to be, in my opinion, she looked very young,
Yeah.
healthy, right? I was like, wow, I was kind of shocked that she was calling it quits, but that makes total sense. She looked at her age and was like, it's either now or never, right? So yeah, no, I totally get that one. That good luck to her if that's what she's doing. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have to step away from the sport for, you know, calling it quits. It seems like a permanent thing, but who knows down the line, maybe like, after she's had some, a child or two, maybe she's like,
Baby
hey,
been
she
screaming.
gets the itch.
Baby been screaming too long. She's like, fuck
Yeah.
these kids going back to the gym.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to hire myself a nanny because it's fucking kids. God damn it. But anyway, um, we wanted to kind of like get a show out here for you guys. Wanted to cut it, not make it too long because we all got plans. Andrew's gonna go trick or treating with his
The
kiddos, and
sun is dropping and the door is knocking.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got little ding 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 ding
like
ding.
Dad, can we go
Yeah.
yet? Can we go yet? So,
Yes.
but regardless, we wanted to hop on because we did miss Sunday and whatnot. So, Andrew, do you want to try checking your whatchamacallit, what's the word, like breaking news, if there is any breaking news here before we call it a night?
And breaking news is going to take away from Sunday. I'm doing it, but we can't go. We're a little deep in the week right here.
Let's see here. Oh yeah,
What do
so it looks like we're gonna just a quick. There's gonna be some boxing this weekend, of course. November 2nd, we have some ESPN Plus boxing Top Rank with the rematch with Oshaki Foster and Hobson Concenciao. That's gonna be on ESPN Plus. I believe, and also there's gonna be some fights on DAZN as well. Some Golden Boy. I believe, yes, Floyd Schofield is taking on Rene Diaz Guidon. So that's gonna be on DAZN. So we got boom fights on DAZN, fights on ESPN Plus this weekend. Good enough fights to tune in case you ain't got nothing else to do on a Saturday. But other than that, nothing coming up on your end.
No, man. I just seen a Dodgers fan blow off both of his hands.
Oh
Holy
shit!
shit.
With
He's
what
he's
fireworks?
lighting a firework, man, in the middle of the street, bro. He's in total
Uh,
shock. I didn't look too close, but his fingers don't look good, bro.
oh jeez.
Fucking A.
Uh,
Damn,
well,
man.
yeah, that's the other news, right? The Dodgers won the
Dodgers
World
won.
Series. They
Yes.
didn't win it in LA. They won it over there, but regardless, they ended up winning, and good for them. I don't watch baseball, but I know a lot of my buddies from Southern California, my close friends, are big Dodgers fans. So shout out to them for winning. I don't know whatever number World Series this is. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. We wanted to get a show out to you guys because we did miss Sunday, but regardless, we're gonna be back Sunday because there's some fights this weekend, and see what other. Oh yeah, there's clapback Thursday, which we haven't seen yet.
Joker style.
Exactly. It's almost 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and I haven't caught anything yet. Mind you, we're recording this right now, so I'm sure we're gonna have a clapback Thursday update come this Sunday. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. Enjoy yourselves your Halloween night. Please be safe. Don't be lighting fireworks like the son of a bitch, and enjoy your candy, of course. But be very careful out there. Enjoy your Halloween. You have a good one. We'll see you Sunday.
Happy Halloween, guys.